The stormy night hung heavy with an oppressive fog, reducing visibility to an eerie blanket of white. The windshield wipers struggled to beat back the rain that lashed against the glass, each droplet a ghostly echo of the tumultuous night. I gripped the steering wheel, my knuckles turning white as the ominous fog clung to the desolate road ahead. The road rage incident had unfolded like a macabre dance on this isolated stretch of asphalt, where my car had become an unwitting participant in a deadly tango. A couple in a battered sedan, their faces twisted in manic rage, had become my tormentors on this fateful night. It began with an innocuous exchange of gestures, the kind of road rage that usually dissipates into the ether of everyday life. However, the maniacal glint in the couple's eyes hinted at something far more sinister. The twisted symphony of horns and screeching tires mingled with the howling wind, casting an ominous shadow over the confrontation. As the situation escalated, I decided to escape the clutches of the deranged duo, the storm amplifying the sense of dread that clung to the night. My car, a beacon of fleeting hope, surged ahead on the slick road, outpacing the couple in the rearview mirror. The fog swirled around my car like phantom tendrils, distorting reality and heightening the sense of disorientation. For a moment, I believed I had outsmarted my pursuers, that the storm would shield me from their wrath. But as fate would have it, my car too succumbed to the relentless chase. The engine sputtered and gasped, the fuel gauge plummeting towards empty. Panic seized me as I coasted to a helpless stop on the desolate road. The relentless rain drummed on the roof of my stranded car, a mocking cadence of vulnerability. Through the thick fog, I spotted the couple's car emerging like a phantom from the shadows. The twisted figures within stared through the mist with an unholy determination. Panic gripped me as I fumbled for my phone, only to realize it had been abandoned in the car during the chaotic escape. The only option left was to flee on foot, to let the fog and darkness become my allies. I abandoned the immobilized car, the rain-soaked asphalt beneath my feet cold and unforgiving. The forest on the roadside beckoned, its gnarled branches and thick underbrush promising concealment. My breath hitched with every hurried step, the adrenaline-fueled escape fueled by the primal fear of pursuit. I cast furtive glances over my shoulder, the fog distorting reality into a nightmarish dreamscape. The trees loomed like silent sentinels, their branches clawing at the thick mist that clung to the air. Through the veil of fog, I glimpsed the couple emerging from their car, their faces twisted into grotesque masks of malevolence. The rain soaked their tattered clothes, their footsteps echoing in the gloom as they began the unholy pursuit on foot. I plunged deeper into the forest, the undergrowth tearing at my clothes and the damp earth squelching beneath my frantic steps. The darkness within the woods seemed to close in, an all-encompassing abyss that threatened to swallow me whole. My heart raced in tandem with the storm overhead, the rhythm of fear pounding in my ears. The couple's unhinged laughter cut through the relentless rain, a chilling soundtrack to the nightmarish escape. Panic threatened to overwhelm reason as I stumbled through the murky terrain. It was then that I stumbled upon a dimly lit clearing, a haven within the encroaching darkness. A campsite emerged like an oasis, its flickering fire a beacon of hope in the suffocating gloom. The inhabitants of the makeshift haven turned towards me, their eyes wide with curiosity and concern. I gasped for breath, my words tumbling out in a frantic plea for help. The campers, a group of weary travelers seeking refuge from the storm, listened with a mixture of disbelief and empathy. As I babbled about the murderous couple and the road rage gone awry, their expressions shifted from doubt to urgency. Without a moment's hesitation, they offered their assistance. A burly man, seemingly unperturbed by the storm, armed himself with a flashlight, ready to confront the shadows that lurked beyond the campfire's glow. Others dialed emergency services on their phones, determined to summon help in the face of the unfolding horror. The forest seemed to hold its breath as the rescuers ventured into its depths, their footsteps swallowed by the oppressive silence. The rain continued its relentless assault, a symphony of despair that underscored the gravity of the situation. The campers, armed with a collective determination, became my allies in the fight against the malevolent forces that sought to claim me. Minutes stretched into agonizing hours, the campfire flickering like a fragile beacon in the blackened wilderness. The distant wails of sirens emerged as a herald of salvation, growing louder with each passing moment. The storm, once a malevolent force, now seemed to yield to the approaching salvation. Finally, the rescuers emerged from the forest, their expressions a mixture of triumph and concern. They confirmed that the couple had been apprehended by the authorities, their twisted pursuit halted by the relentless resolve of those who refused to let darkness prevail. Relief washed over me as the rescuers led me back to the safety of their campsite. The campfire, once a humble source of warmth, now transformed into a beacon of communal strength against the encroaching darkness. The dampness of my clothes clung to my skin, a visceral reminder of the harrowing escape through the unforgiving storm. Emergency services arrived, their flashing lights slicing through the fog and rain. The weary campers recounted the night's events, their voices a collective testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of unspeakable horror. The malevolent couple, now in the custody of law enforcement, were led away in handcuffs, their manic laughter silenced by the authority of justice. As the storm began to relent, the campground transformed into a makeshift sanctuary, a gathering of souls who had weathered the night's tempest together. The strangers who had once been mere travelers became allies bound by a shared ordeal. With a sense of gratitude and exhaustion, I sat by the campfire, its flickering flames casting shadows that danced like echoes of the night's horrors. The rain continued to fall, but its touch felt less ominous now, a cleansing baptism that washed away the residue of fear. The campers, compassionate and empathetic, offered me warmth and solace. They shared stories of their own journeys and adventures, their laughter mingling with the persistent patter of raindrops on the forest canopy. In that shared camaraderie, the horror of the night began to dissipate, replaced by the healing balm of human connection. As the night wore on, the authorities completed their investigations, and I was offered shelter and a ride back to civilization. The storm, having unleashed its fury and tears upon the world, began to retreat, leaving behind a drenched landscape that mirrored the emotional aftermath of the night's tribulations. In the rearview mirror of the rescuer's car, the forest gradually receded, the fog lifting to reveal the road ahead. The journey back to safety unfolded in a contemplative silence, the hum of the engine a soothing melody, in contrast to the cacophony of the night. Arriving at the outskirts of town, the first light of dawn painted the horizon with hues of pink and gold, a symbolic dawn after the darkness. The rain, now reduced to a gentle drizzle, seemed to wash away the lingering shadows that clung to the edges of my consciousness. As I stepped out of the car, a profound sense of gratitude welled within me. The ordeal had reshaped my understanding of fear and resilience, the fragility of life juxtaposed against the indomitable spirit of survival. The small town, awakening to a new day, became a haven of familiarity and safety. The tale of that stormy, fog-laden night would forever be etched in my memory, a haunting reminder of the thin veil that separates ordinary existence from the realm of nightmares. Yet in its aftermath, I found solace in the kindness of strangers and the shared humanity that prevailed against the malevolent forces that had sought to claim me. As the sun broke through the dissipating clouds, casting its warm rays upon the town, I embraced the newfound strength forged in the crucible of that harrowing night. The echoes of the malevolent couple faded into the recesses of memory, overshadowed by the resilient spirit that had risen like a phoenix from the ashes of fear and despair. The road ahead, once shrouded in fog and uncertainty, now stretched before me with a clarity that only a brush with darkness can provide. The storm had passed, leaving behind a cleansed world that mirrored the resilience of the human spirit, a testament to the enduring power of hope and the strength found in unexpected alliances formed in the crucible of adversity.